What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. A lot of you guys have been asking questions about the $600 stimulus check and the $2,000 stimulus check. So in today's stimulus check update, I just want to answer you guys' questions. I want to provide you some information. I know a lot of you guys have been asking questions. I've been trying to get into the comments and answer those questions for you. If I've been a little bit slow, sorry, there's a lot of questions. So that's what I want to do in today's video. So if you go through this entire video and I don't answer your question, or you have an additional question, a follow-up, then please put your question down in the comment section below and I'll try to get to that then. Now, let's just begin because there's a lot of questions. First, will people who are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA, and railroad benefits qualify for the $600 stimulus check or the $2,000 stimulus check? That's the first question. Let me answer that. Yes, if you are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, railroad, or even VA benefits, if you fall under the income limitations, so the income limits are, if you are an individual, you're single, and you are filing, you have to make under $75,000 or less per year, and you would qualify for the entire stimulus package. If you are married, filing jointly, even if you don't have kids, you have to make under $150,000 total between the two of you to get your entire stimulus package. If you make over that, then for every $100 over that you make, you actually get $5 less in stimulus. So they do have that little threshold. Now, if for some reason you did not file your income taxes in 2019, this is an issue. This is what many people are seeing. If you did not file or they haven't processed your tax return, then you will not see a stimulus check come in the mail through direct deposit or through some type of card. You just won't see it. But if you do file your 2020 federal income taxes, then you can get the $600 stimulus check then, or that $2,000 stimulus check if and when it gets approved. Right now, we're under the impression that it's going to get approved. At what point and exactly how much is it going to be, that's still what is yet to be determined. We should know more this week. Next thing, do adult dependents get $600 stimulus checks, or will they qualify for the $2,000 stimulus check if it actually gets approved? Well, adult dependents right now do not get a $600 stimulus check. That's the way it's written. The filer gets a $600 check, their spouse gets a $600 check, any child dependents under the age of 17. Again, it has to be under 17, not 17 and under. It's under the age of 17. They get a stimulus check. If you are an adult filer, anybody 17 and older, an adult dependent, then you don't get a stimulus check at this point. As far as the $2,000 stimulus checks, here's what we know. There's going to be two options. Option number one, Congress passes the Cash Act. The Cash Act would provide $2,000 stimulus checks to everybody. Here's the issue. If it's not the Cash Act, and again, the Cash Act is just an amendment, what that means is everybody that currently gets a stimulus check will get an additional $1,400. But that leaves out adult dependents through the Cash Act. What we do know is if they do not do an amendment and they do a completely separate bill, then adult dependents could be included then. But again, it could be. It's not a guarantee. And in most cases, adult dependents are going to be left out again. I know, it's tough to hear, but that's what we know. Based on all the reports, everything that's going on, everything that we're seeing, adding adult dependents into this package is going to push it up billions and billions of dollars. And right now, it seems like Republicans are set against increasing it even more, even though some adult dependents, people on Social Security, people that are elderly, living with their children or things like that, they've been very hardly hit, they've been hard hit during this pandemic. So because of that, they should receive something. But as of right now, it just doesn't seem likely. What about child dependents? Will they qualify for a $2,000 stimulus check? Right now, what we know is Republicans only want to include the filer and their spouse for $2,000 stimulus checks. But that's the Republican side. Republicans will not hold the majority in the House or the Senate. And obviously Joe Biden is a Democrat. So with that said, there is a good chance child dependents will get an additional $1,400 as well. But if Republicans get their way, which they could, there will have to be some type of bipartisan negotiation happening here. If Republicans have a say in this, it will probably be just $600 for child dependents, not an additional $1,400. So it would just be the filer and their spouse that get an additional $1,400. So it will be something. And as far as $2,000 checks, again, if Republicans get their way, this won't happen. Next question. I was told that we will have to pay back the $600 stimulus checks and also the $1,200 stimulus checks that we received from the CARES Act. Is this true? Here's the tricky part. No, you will not have to pay this back when you file your taxes this year. You won't have to pay this money back. However, yes, the American people will need to eventually pay this money back because this is putting the economy, our national debt is actually going up. So what is the issue here is, yes, and Democrats are really fighting this, is that right now our children and our grandchildren and their children will most likely be paying off this stimulus check debt that we're racking up. But right now we're still paying off debt from years ago. We're still paying off debt from wars that we probably completely forgot we were ever in. That's the issue. We're not just paying off debt from the Iraq war, or, going and fighting in Afghanistan. That's not what we're paying off. We're paying off things from 50 years ago. We still haven't paid it off. So right now, just understand, yes, this debt will need to be repaid, but it's probably not going to be by us. It will probably be by our kids and our grandkids that will eventually have to pay this off. So yes, in some way, it will be paid back. Next question. What if I have not received my $600 stimulus check yet? Well, what I suggest, you go to the irs.gov website. There's a tool on the top left. First, you got to click on the economic impact payment, and then there'll be a tool where you can click on. It's called the Get My Payment tool. Here, you can check the status of your payment. Are you going to receive one? When was it sent? Or when can you expect it? Here's what you need to understand, because this is the big issue. The IRS will tell you where it's at, or they'll give you a payment status. Here is what you do not want to see. You do not want to see payment status number 2. If you do this, payment status number 2, not available, what this means is you will not get a stimulus check sent to you. Not yet. You will have to go and file your 2020 federal income taxes sometime this year. When you do that, then you can request the $600 at that point. If you do not file, you will not get your stimulus check. So, in most cases, it will benefit you to go and file your 2020 federal income taxes, even if you had very little income. Now, you could be in the group that gets a prepaid debit card. The IRS sent out millions and millions of stimulus payments to the wrong bank account. They sent out the payments to many people's online tax preparer like H&R Block or TurboTax. The issue there is it was then up to TurboTax and H&R Block to redistribute those funds to the proper bank accounts, to the proper address that you had on file, things like that. So these could take time. H&R Block started doing this, I believe, on January 6th. TurboTax, I believe, started doing this on January 7th or 8th. So they both started, but they are anticipating that they will be doing this probably into this coming week. So just be on the lookout. If you did use an online tax preparer like H&R Block or TurboTax, that could be the issue. So just look into that. As far as paper checks, they're still coming. People are starting to receive them, which is great. Just understand, some people that had their check sent back or there's an issue with the check, the IRS has stated they will actually send you a prepaid debit card. This debit card is going to come in a plain white envelope. It's going to have the Treasury seal on it. So be on the lookout for that. That should start coming any day now, but they do anticipate we will start seeing them probably for the next couple of weeks. Look to make sure it's coming, it's there. If you aren't sure if you're going to receive one, go to the IRS tool, go to the Get My Payment tool and just check and see what's happening. Next question. What year does the IRS go off of for the $600 and the $2,000 stimulus checks? What we're hearing is the 2019 tax return is the only year that they are going off of at this point. Because of this, some people have yet to get their 2019 federal income taxes actually filed. If that's the case and you filed late, or you filed technically in the right amount of time just months ago, if you filed by the deadline, then you possibly are still waiting on your tax return to be processed. If that's the case, the IRS only has your 2018 tax return. And that could be one of the issues. That could be what the holdup is. So if this is the case and you filed a little bit late, all you got to do is go and file your 2020 federal tax return sometime this year, probably before April, and then you will get your stimulus check money then. What we are hearing is most likely the $2,000 checks will still go off of the 2019 numbers. Okay, because we will probably see the $2,000 stimulus check before the date the final cutoff for your federal income taxes to be filed. So because of that, it will most likely be 2019 again. Next question. Will the $2,000 stimulus checks come before the end of January? Here's what we know. Joe Biden he supports a $2,000 stimulus check. He said this in his campaign rally in Georgia on Monday, that yes, if the voters of Georgia vote for the two Democrats, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, if they vote for them and they win, the $2,000 stimulus checks will be issued. They will be coming out. It's just a matter of when. Right now, there's a very good chance we will see them before the end of January. However, it really comes down to and depends on what kind of package Democrats are putting together. And they're putting this together at this point, and we will most likely hear more about it this coming week. But if they are putting together a package that has absolutely no bipartisan support, it most likely will not pass the Senate. It will pass the House. Joe Biden will support it, but it will be held up in the Senate. That's going to be the issue. Biden's plan is to get these out quickly because some are expecting the $2,000 stimulus check or the additional $1,400 that we could get on top of the $600 stimulus checks that many people have already started receiving. Those will probably be sent out and received before the first draw of rental assistance is actually taken. That could be huge. That could be a big thing. So if the rental assistance program is taking so long, stimulus checks might be a huge priority at this point. We'll just have to wait and see. Next question. Will the $2,000 stimulus check affect my eligibility for state help? This is a question I've received multiple times. I even got a bunch of emails asking this exact same thing. Here's what we know. That no, you will have to claim your stimulus check payment. You'll have to claim any income that you've received. However, the stimulus check amount will not affect your eligibility. And I say this because a lot of people are worried, well, if I take this stimulus check, I should just send it back because if I take it, I won't be eligible for food stamps. That's not the case. I will not be eligible for daycare or medical. That's not the case. State benefits are not impacted by the economic impact payment. These are supposed to just help you. This is stimulus. This is just supposed to help you get through this pandemic. So just understand, yes, you have to claim it at the end of the year, but it will not impact your eligibility. Will it in 2021, 2022? That we don't know. We haven't got any updates on that yet, but what we know is at this point, no, it will not impact you at all. Next question. If I don't need the money currently, would you recommend I pay down debt or keep money in savings? Here's my suggestion to you. First off, if you do not have a 3-month emergency fund, I'd recommend you create one. You get that going. In this era, in this day and age, we need to have some type of security blanket. Even if it's 3 months, it's better than nothing. Here's what I suggest. Have a 3-month emergency fund. I personally have a 1-year emergency fund. Let me just give you an example. If you're not sure what an emergency fund is. An emergency fund will cover all your expenses for that month. Most people recommend a 3-month emergency fund. I think Dave Ramsey, he recommends a 6-month emergency fund. I believe that's also what Susie Orman, a bunch of other financial experts recommend. I personally suggest a 1-year emergency fund. It takes a little bit to build up. It takes some, you got to be frugal. You have to save. It's not fun. It's not sexy. You don't drive around the fanciest car, live in the biggest house, and take the best vacations. But you will have security if something like this happens again. So again, I personally recommend 1 year. Let's just assume you have $2,500 in expenses per month. That's not including, big luxuries like, a lavish vacation that you take every year. It's not including that. It's just your essentials, your home, car, maybe a cell phone bill, internet, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, whatever, right? Some of those aren't really necessities, but you get the idea. And then food and insurance and, stuff like that. If you pay $2,500 a month, you would need to save up $30,000 in savings, and that would be your 1-year emergency fund. That's what I personally do. I have a 1-year emergency fund. So that means if I cannot work, my businesses just absolutely tank. They're not making any money. I can't physically work. My wife couldn't work. She couldn't, run the business, things like that. My family would be set. We could handle what we're going through for 1 year. After 1 year, we would run out of money from that emergency fund. Now we could get money elsewhere, but that's not the point. So here's what I suggest. I suggest you start an emergency fund and just fund it for 3 months. After you have that emergency fund, then I recommend you start to pay down debt. I recommend paying down debt, and a lot of people ask me this, why would I pay down debt when I could just invest in the stock market? The stock market's doing really well. I could potentially get like 8% a year. Well, you could. You could potentially get 10, 15% a year. But here's the issue. If you are getting 15% from the stock market per year, but yet you're paying out in credit card fees 20% per year, 20% APR, the problem is it's a 5% difference. Why would you invest in the stock market, which is questionable, when there's a guarantee that you are going to have to pay 20% annual percentage rate on your credit card? So that's where it doesn't make sense. Pay off your debt, at least pay it down, then save a little bit, and then go invest in the stock market. Then go invest in things like real estate and bonds and gold and Bitcoin and all that stuff. That's what I'd recommend. Now, do you have to take my recommendation? Absolutely not. But that's what I suggest. Okay? So I know there's going to be more questions. I know there's a lot of issues going on with the current stimulus checks. I know there's going to be more issues if we receive another stimulus check. So just understand, there will be questions. If you have questions, come on back. Ask your questions down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. If I don't answer them directly on the comment sections, I will most likely try to kind of batch the comments together and answer those questions in a video style. So thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can keep you updated on everything that's going on regarding stimulus, regarding COVID, regarding President Trump, regarding your finances, and just making money from the comfort of your own home. So again, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.